Hi everyone, thank you for visiting my tarot channel and thank you for watching, I guess more importantly listening to this video today. I wanted to say thank you all of you who have supported me up to this point. I know I've been really absent with, next to no videos, none really in the last few months, and I kind of want to apologize for that. And I also kind of want to explain why. So this video won't be, or even audio more so, won't be like my other ones. As you can gather by the title, Soul Purge, this is something I really want to talk to you guys about. Now, I have been going through this Soul Purge, and I reckon, if I'm really honest with myself, and if I'm really honest with you guys, probably June. It was triggered in June, but I chose to ignore it, and voila, the universe went, no you don't, and I got super triggered, and it hit me hard the last few months. So this is actually a very personal thing that I'm doing with you, and I was really in between two minds whether or not I should even do this, because I'm quite private about this stuff. And what kind of inspired me to do this was a lot of you had emailed me personally and asked how I was and where I was and what I was doing and are you all right and how's it going. And with a few of you I had some lovely conversations about what's really going on. And I noticed that when I opened up about this, other people then also responded saying, yeah, do you know what, I'm going through the exact same thing. It's definitely a soul purge, really struggling myself. Listen, best of luck on your journey. I'm here for you. I'm here for you. I light a candle for you. I light a candle for you. So there was this lovely, and which I shouldn't really be surprised about because it's here on this channel anyway, but there was this lovely sense of community and acceptance and love and no judgment. And I thought, well, if you guys are kind of giving that to me, maybe I should actually do a video, and maybe I should open myself up and not be so private about my own spiritual journey and what's been going on. So that's kind of why I'm here. So if any of you have been going through a soul purge, I'm going to tell you now, this isn't a very visually pleasing video. This is more audio. So I want to speak to you directly. And I think if you just kind of relax, put your earphones in, and I want you to know that I'm talking to you and that we're having a conversation about this. I might be speaking from my own personal experience, but I want you to, in your own way, kind of speak back and either agree or disagree or say, yeah, that's happened to me, or, well, that hasn't happened to me, but this has. As I always say, it's about creating a dialogue. And even if I can't respond directly or hear you when you respond, it doesn't mean that it's not there. Okay? So this is really close to my heart, really close to me in general. And so let's talk about it. Let's talk. What is this soul purge? Right, okay. If I were to put it in one line what a soul purge is, from my perspective, a soul purge is your soul trying to balance out both sides of it in order to get you onto the next path of your spiritual awakening or your spiritual journey. That would be my one-liner. That sounds really basic and it makes it sound so easy. But if any of you are going through it, you know that it's not. And I know that it's not. And I understand what your position is because I was in it and I'm kind of near to the end of mine. So what does it mean to balance out your soul? Right, so I always use the word chiaroscuro. It's Italian for light and shadow. They use it in film terms, more so in like cinematography, right? So visual value of something, visual value of images using light and shadow. And I'm sure many of you that watch my videos are looking for guidance and are spiritually aware in that sense, because when you even look for videos to guide you, you're looking to educate yourself spiritually. And so you'll know from watching my videos that I talk a lot about our dark side and our light side, the good and the bad, the positive and the negative. It's important also to realize that one can't exist without the other. You'll always inherently have this in you, and your soul is always trying to kind of balance this out. I guess the most recognizable symbol and best representation of what that is, our light and our dark side, is the yin yang symbol. And it's really important that when we look at that symbol, what we see. Yes, we see the light side. Yes, we see the dark side. But within the light, there is some dark. And within the dark, there is some light. And that says one cannot exist without the other. We can't just suppress one and only show the other. I think that's what a problem is as well, is that we're really heavily conditioned to only show our positive side and suppress the negative side. And so if we continue to do that on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis, on a yearly basis, on a decade basis, however long, there's going to be a point where your shadow side wants to speak and wants to say something. And we all know, as humans, as emotional creatures, how easy it is for us to not acknowledge our shadow side, to push it down, to suppress those voices that we don't want to listen to. And those voices are saying, hey, you need to kind of sort this out. What are you doing? What are you doing? You've been holding on this for 2 years. Why am I still here? Why am I still calling upon you to sort this out? And then we go, no, you're okay, shadow side. I'm good. No, I'm good. No, I'm just going to hang out with the light. Yeah, no. Yeah, I know you've got some things you want me to look at. I'm really busy. And I'm going out now in a few minutes. Going to meet some of the girls, some of the guys. Going to have a few drinks. Going to enjoy myself. So I don't really need you. Okay, see you. Thanks. Thanks, shadow. Thanks. Bye-bye. And we just program ourselves to be best friends with the light side. But as I said, I get it's because society tells us that we always have to constantly have this positive attitude. And I get what that is. I get positive mental attitude. But I think it's important for us to say sometimes that we're not okay. And that we have blue days. And I talk about blue days with my friends all the time, you know, and it's even something where it's like, I don't really know why I'm having a blue day, but you know what, it's a blue day and I'm okay with that, and I'm going to accept that. I'm going to acknowledge that side of me. Even doing something as small as that is acknowledging your shadow side. But with a soul purge, it's so much deeper, it's so much more. It's all of those things that you've not addressed over the years, that you really, like, you push down. And you push and push and push into the depths, into the abyss. All of those things that you don't want to look at within yourself. All of those regrets that you have. All that pain and all of that hurt and all of that fear. With the soul purge, you don't really have the choice to suppress anymore. And it's because as well, see, I like to kind of give a voice to the shadow side, because if we just think of the shadow, we think of the dark and we fear it because we can't see properly through it like you can with the light. But I don't think it needs to be that way. It's okay to check in with your shadow side every now and again and say, how are you doing? Are you all right? You want to say something? What's going on? Doesn't mean you have to do what the shadow side says. The shadow side just wants to be listened to, acknowledged, the same way the light does. So I like to kind of give a voice to it. And I'm going to put it this way to you, right? I think this is let me think about this the last few days. What's the best kind of example I could give of what your shadow side is, okay? So I want you to think of one of your best friends, right? Someone that you've known for years. They know you for years. Been through a lot of things together. A lot of men, a lot of women, a lot of problems, a lot of family issues, a lot of health issues even. Changing jobs, changing friends, parties, celebrations, all that. And I want you to visualize that person now, in your mind's eye. And they come to you. They knock on your front door. And you open it and you see them. And they're really, really upset. Like, I mean really upset. Depends on what kind of friend you have, what way you'd see them. But for this purpose, I'm going to say that they're crying. They're that upset. And they need your help. They need you to listen to them. They need you to hear what they have to say, because they can't really take it anymore. And they've had enough. And you see them. You can see their face. You can see how distraught they are. And then you look at them and say, no. No, sorry, I don't want to have to deal with you. And you close the door on them. I want you to look at your shadow side now. In that position. You would never close the door on a loved one. You would never say, I don't want to listen to you. So why do you do it to yourself? Why would you close the door on that side of yourself? That is not actually, alright, it's the contents in that box. It's hard to go through all them. But the soul purge is there so you can do it. So what I'm saying is, don't close the door on your shadow side. It's asking for your help, and that's why this happens. Because it's been knocking on your door for some time, and you've known it to be there, and you've just ignored it. No, you're grand. I'd much rather hang out with the light side. Yeah, light side's so cool. So much happier, right? Don't have to worry about anything with the light side. You wouldn't deny a loved one, so don't deny yourself, is what I'm saying here. And visualize your shadow side as that friend that you also need to take care of. Not something that you're scared of, but something that you need to take care of. And more importantly, it's because it's a part of you. And you have to take care of yourself. You have to make sure you're in balance. The soul purge comes because you're not in balance. Because you've kept the door closed on your shadow friend. I think that's what we'll call it from now on, shall we? It doesn't seem as daunting then. Shadow friend. You've got your light friend and you've got your shadow friend. And they're both part of you. So what do you experience though when you're going through the soul purge? Well, it got a really differs for everyone. I'll be really honest and say I had a really turbulent, emotional roller coaster ride for like the last few months. I would regard myself as quite like emotionally controlled a lot of the time. Wouldn't just kind of break down crying. Wouldn't kind of cry in front of people actually. Just I wouldn't do that, you know. I kind of, if I need to have a cry, I'll have a cry at home. You know, I don't. And that's not to say that I'm not vulnerable. Not at all. And it's not to say there's anything wrong with showing that sort of vulnerability to people, you know, out there. I'm actually always quite inspired when people show me vulnerability. I think that's one of the most beautiful and humbling things to witness when somebody gives you that moment of vulnerability of theirs. I'm always quite moved by that. So my emotional roller coaster, I went up and down, up and down. I went sideways, I went upside down, I went left, right, spinning, dropped back down. I went up in the air. I was everywhere. And all the things that I tried to suppress in from my shadow friend when I didn't open the door to them, once that door opened, oh, it all just came flooding out, like all of it. And I don't even mean by crying. I just mean that I had no control over any of it. All the residual feelings from past friendships, family issues, relationships, life in general. All of that came flooding up, out and over me, and I had no control. And it was really hard to deal with on a daily basis, right? Because I woke up, I'd be fine, and then I'd get really blue, and then this would happen. And it's like, I couldn't tell when it was going to happen. I had no control over it anymore. Because my shadow friend got really sick and tired of me of not listening to them, and it broke down my freaking door, and it burst in, and it said, I'm taking control, this is what's going on. I went, oh, Jesus, this is too much, man. And I really struggled some days. And I'm sure if I ask you right now how you've been, you probably nod your head and go, I've really struggled some days. This has been really tough. 1 minute you're all right. The next you're really sad. The next you're crying, you're not quite sure why. All of this release coming out of the body, it's crazy. It's just so hard. Another kind of thing that I experienced, and maybe that you experience as well, is my health. I got quite run down there for a good 3 weeks, I'd say. That was when it was at its peak. And my diet hadn't changed. I was healthy, still taking care of myself, but my health just went downhill. So you may be experiencing that as well. There are certain signs you know that you're going through the soul purge as well with your health. One of the big ones is headaches, really bad headaches, right? Or stuff like, if you work with a computer, you can't look at the computer screen for very long. You're like, this is too much. It's overwhelming. I can't, it's too much. Another thing is that you might be getting chest pains or suffer with your lungs. If any of you have asthma, you'll notice that it's gotten quite bad the last while. Or at least you'll feel it maybe at the peak of your journey. Through this soul purge, I should say, not your spiritual journey, but this purge in general. It's like harder to breathe sometimes, get chest pains. Oh, sad about. Some of you may be getting some severe anxiety, like in your stomach, very bad. Also to do with stomach issues, you might be getting that as well. Some of you might be feeling sick. For others of you, it could be just knots in your stomach and you feel like your digestive system is just all over the place and you're like, what is going on? Well, it's because you suppress so much that when the soul purge happens so violently, of course it's going to affect you physically. Yeah, it's a spiritual thing, but it's also a mental thing that you're going through. And let me just kind of interject with saying as well, as I'm speaking, that you won't be able to find logic to what's going on with you. You won't. This is not a logical process. It's a spiritual process and an emotional process. You can't find answers to why it's happening as such. You can't justify it with something concrete in the external world. You can't really. You gotta let it happen. But I want you to know that you're not crazy. You're not going insane. This is happening. And you're going to be absolutely fine at the end of this. I just want to say that again to you. You're not going crazy. You're not insane. This is happening, but you're going to be fine. I just kind of want to add that in there because I just think it's important. It was even something that I was considering as a title. It's like, you're not crazy, you're going to be fine, which you are. Of course. One of the most, I guess, obvious symptoms as well of soul purge that I've experienced, and that maybe you have too, is extreme fatigue. Now, I guess it's important to really look at the time of year that we're in and how that's a probable high factor to put in there. More than likely, It's colder weather, it's damper weather. I live in Ireland, we have wet weather, it's always damp. Well, I mean, for winter time. It was snowing the other day, which was a little bit glorious, but then it went to like water, it was sleety, it's the time of year. And you kind of just want to be wrapped up, you want to be warm, you want to be snug, going in and out of the heat and the cold and not getting enough sunlight. Fatigue, you can just get really fatigued. But with the soul purge, this fatigue is something else. This is like you go to work. You work a job, how many hours you do, how many days you do, doesn't matter. You could be working 2 hours, you could be working 16 hours. You could have even gotten a 9-hour sleep the night before. And you come home and you just want to get into bed. It's like you've no energy. You could have even taken your multivitamin that morning. The one you've been taking the last while, the last 6 months. Same multivitamin, it's great, does the job. Not lately. Nope. That fatigue comes in, it's going to kick your ass. You just want to lie down and you just want to rest, and your body just wants to rest. It's really saying to you, you need to take care of yourself. You need to take care of yourself. So some of you may be deciding to change how you eat and what you eat. So there's a very big cleansing factor throughout this purge. Essentially, that's what it is. It's cleansing. Your soul is cleansing itself. So yeah, your body kind of has to be in alignment with that energy as well. What you were doing before may not work now. So you've got to find a better way. You've got to find a better way to take care of yourself. But that's important. Those words of taking care of yourself is what you need to focus on. And I mean, people say it a lot anyway. Eat your greens, eat your veg, less meat, loads of water. We all kind of know that. But during the soul purge, it's so important. It is imperative that you stick to that cleanly, healthy eating habits. And a lot of water. You're going through the cleanse. Your soul is going through this purge. You need to cleanse. You need to make sure your body's being fed correctly. As I said, it needs to be in alignment with your soul, what it's going through. Your body needs to support the soul and what it's going through. Because it's really severe. It can be really severe. And I'm sure if some of you have done what I've asked, or just kind of put as a little idea just to listen to this, me talking to you now. Put your earphones in, just lying back. Like, I'm sure right now you're feeling, some of you may be feeling so fatigued. And you're like, girl, I can't even get up off the bed. I get it. I did that. I would come in sometimes from what I do. And I do a lot of different things, a lot of different jobs. And I would just pass out on the bed. Body would give up. So during this process, as I said, taking care of yourself. One way is healthy eating. It's very, very important. But before I really actually go into that, I want to talk to you about the synchronicities and signs. I'll go back to kind of other ways in taking care of yourself, like learning to say no. We're going to talk about that as well. But one thing that you'll hear a lot of people talk about, not even just me now. Like if you just Google synchronicities and signs, it's kind of everywhere. This information is very easily obtainable. I guess I want to talk to you about it when we talk about a soul purge. How important that is as well during this process. So synchronicities for you may have been kind of coming up, bubbling beneath the surface before your really big soul purge, before it's when it's at its peak. Before that, I kind of want you to look back and ask yourself, did I see the signs? Were they there? Did I have synchronicities and I just ignored them? For me, I'm going to say yeah. I really put my hands up to that and own it. Say yeah, I absolutely did. Because I thought I was fine, My soul's good, I'm good, I'm living, I'm good. And I was good. But there was more to come for me. There was more that I needed to do within myself. And of course, I wasn't doing that. So what happens? Your external world, it gives you these signs. It gives you these little synchronicities. It gives you those wonderful numbers that everyone talks about, right? 1111, 111, 22, 22, 33, 33, 17, 17, 19, 19. You know, it's just like repetition of numbers. And that's so funny because just as I say that, I look down at my phone, and for this particular sequence of me talking, it was 555. There you are. Some of you getting 555. 888. 333. It's all important. They're all signs for you. And sometimes they can be red flags. They're there to tell you, look, this is the number that when something negative is happening, or you're in negative thought, or you're not supposed to be doing what you're doing, a certain sequence will pop up for you. I've noticed over the years, my kind of be careful what you're doing number is 1010. Always. I see it and I go, oh, hold on, I shouldn't really be doing this. It's never kind of failed me, actually. But for me, it's always been 1111, 111, 111s, ones and threes constantly. Other signs as well may be, for me, kind of feel like I'm talking about myself a lot, but it's from my point of view, from what I've been going through. I want to see if you guys also agree. Is music. I love music. I get so upset if I leave my earphones at home, and I can't walk around not having music in my ears, or not listening to a podcast, or, you know, I need lyrics, I need sound. And it's in those moments of hearing a specific song, or a specific line out of a song, and you go, oh, what was that? What was that? It takes you out of your head for a minute and what you're doing. And it may trigger you. Just maybe a small little trigger. What it's really doing though is asking you to wake up to something. So if you're not doing it internally, externally, the universe is going to say, hey, wake up. It's just like this little flick on your shoulder. Wake up, look, acknowledge, see? Do you see? We go, yeah, I see it, but it's coincidence, right? 11:11. I always see that. Is anything really a coincidence though? Really? Is anything really a coincidence? Maybe not. So these synchronicities and numbers and signs and music may even just be physical signs that you can react to as well, such as, I know it sounds quite funny, but this has happened too for people. It's when you see stop signs. Well, obviously you're supposed to do what the sign says, but it triggers you in a different way. It catches your attention in a different way. And it could be you're with someone at the time, or you're thinking about something at the time, and you see a stop sign, and you just go, oh, and it literally stops you. What it's saying is, stop thinking the way you're thinking. Stop this moment. Stop your thought pattern. This is no good for you. It's all these little things that come up that are kind of like breadcrumbed up to the point of the really big soul purge. That's what I felt anyway. And even actually throughout some of the soul purge, I felt it. Some of the synchronicities were so strong that I actually had to tell the universe to kind of just lay off, you know. And you can do that. You just be like, you know what, universe, I get it. I get it now. I know what you're on about. I'm going through the soul purge. Just lay off a little bit today, yeah? Just give me a bit of breathing space. I don't need to keep seeing someone's face. I don't need to keep hearing the song. I don't need, I don't keep seeing the numbers. I get it. I get it. I get it. I get you're trying to get me to spiritually declutter. I get that you're trying to inwardly feng shui me. I get it. So do what you need to do. I'd like to go back now and just talk about when I was talking about your health and taking care of yourself during this time. There's other ways that you can take care of yourself when you're in this soul purge. And one of these things is pushing away external influences and taking care of yourself. So learning to say no. Learning to say no. That's something people have such a problem with for various reasons. Sometimes it's your personality. You're just a yes person. Other times you feel like you have a responsibility to people. Like they rely on you. Even though they might, but just you feel about them, you know. People rely on me. Especially in job situations, and that's completely understandable. I have these people, I need to take care of them. They are my responsibility. And we kind of carry that throughout different areas of our lives. So what is kind of this beauty of saying no? And like learning to say no and kind of being okay with the fact that you're like, thank you, but no thanks. I could almost feel some of you kind of go, oh no, I couldn't do that. Ooh, if you're in the soul purge, you have to learn how to do that. I'll tell you why. There's always going to be something externally there that will distract you. It may not be intentional. It may be in the form of people. It may be in form of an event. Maybe just you trying to get out, do something different. No, you know, my soul is asking me to balance it, but I think I really want to go see this film. Right? I know I use film. I lean on film a lot for this stuff, I guess. I don't know. What I did was I went into this, what I call hermit mode. At times it was voluntary, other times it wasn't. So I'd go into hermit mode normally if I have a project or something that I'm working on and I just really want to put all my focus and concentration on that, and I don't want to be disturbed. I don't want to have to be anything to anyone. You know, just in that moment, I'm like, I want to take care of this. So I hermit mode, I shut off everything else. I don't want to know. Wait until I'm done, you know? Have a good time. I'll come back to you. Just let me get this done. So my learning to say no was looking at a hermit mode in a different sort of way. Not just something that is a project I was working on. I took it and I used it for myself during the soul purge. And I know it's the season for going out and having a good time and having a lot of drinks and food and enjoying yourself. And I think that's great. And I don't think you should ever deny yourself those luxuries in life if you can afford it. And if you've got great people around you and great friends, absolutely go for it. Enjoy yourself. 'Tis the season. But learning to say no with that respect is really important for hermit mode. Because I said, you can be externally distracted. So say you're asked on a night out. This has happened to me a good few times. I've been asked to. You coming out? We're going here. You coming out? And I say, no, I'm okay, thanks. No, I'm not going to come out tonight. I'm not going out. Or are you coming out Friday? No, I'm not. I'm not going to come out Friday. I took what I use in my kind of business attitude, I guess, and my work attitude, and I put it into working on myself for hermit mode. So I said, I've been triggered. There are things that are coming up for me, problems or issues that I may have had with my friends over the years, or my family over the years, or relationships I've been with over the years. And this is all coming out and over me, and I can't bring this outside. And also, this needs to be worked on. So I was aware of certain things that were going on in my soul purge. And I said, no, that night, I know I've been asked out. I know people are saying, come on, are you coming out? You know, and it's great because, like, you know, you want people to want to have you at these events or whatever. But I made decisions. I said no. I didn't tell them why. But I said no because I'm going to work on myself tonight. I'm going to sit down with myself. And I'm going to write down all the things that are coming up in this soul purge that my shadow side is saying you've got to look at. And that's what I did. This isn't something that you can do in a night, though. This may take several nights. It may not be one after the other. You may have revelations in one of the nights that you do this, if you stick with one topic in particular. So patterns of how you've been with your friends over the last few years, ones in particular. Are there any patterns there? And if so, write them down. Relationships that you've been in, is there this pattern that is reoccurring, that comes in and it happens all the time, no matter what you do? Is there a pattern there? Okay, yeah. Okay, write it down. What do you notice about yourself in these moments? What do you notice about yourself in these friendships? Are there family issues? How do you feel about your relationship with your family members? Are they as good as they could be? Do I have a good relationship with my mother? Do I have a good relationship with my father? My brothers and sisters, do I give them enough time? Do I really know them? Do I have kind of abandonment issues a little bit? Do I have a stronger bond with one and not the other? And if so, why not? I sat down with all of these things. Various nights. Not all together because, you know, it can be quite tough on you. So you got to give yourself this kind of relaxation period after you really delve deep. And I explored all of these themes of where I felt I had issues. Where my shadow side said, will you take care of this, please? And I went, okay, fine, okay. It's not something I'll sit here and tell you honestly that I enjoyed doing. No one enjoys doing this, guys. No one. It's not about enjoyment, though. It's about decluttering yourself. It's about being more spiritually awakened. It's leveling up in your spiritual existence. And that's not going to be easy. And the things that we really want in life are going to be challenging. But they're so much more rewarding then. And you know and I know that that's truth. That's just truth. So when you kind of push back those external influences and you really look at yourself and you see what you can work on, you acknowledge it, you're taking massive steps to leveling up spiritually. And let me tell you, it isn't easy, but the bravery it takes to do this is massive. It's huge. So if you're going through this now, give yourself a pat on the back. This is not easy. And not everyone goes through this. Many people do. We don't talk about it. But it is happening. It is happening right now. And congratulations on actually being so self-aware that you want to look inside yourself and fix this. I just wanted to say that. I just wanted to let you know you're doing a good job, even on the days that you don't feel like you are. God, you really are. So what happens then again when you push back this external influences, right? Distractions, yeah? And you go inwards and you start to do the work. Now, to counteract some of the negativity you feel is coming up in those kind of private hermit mode sessions, do take out another page of that notebook. Because you should write all this down, guys. Don't just speak out loud. Speak out loud, do, but also write it down. Write the good points that you bring to different relationships in your life. The good points about you. How you think people see you. How you see yourself. And so you're not just gaining knowledge of your shadow side, but you're also really acknowledging the good points of yourself as well. And you're kind of building up, I guess, your self-esteem in that sense. So you've done all that. That takes a while. Right? That's an ongoing process. And in between those moments then, you're deciding, you know, I've kind of invited my shadow friend in, as bless them, they've been in quite a lot. I think I need to indulge my light friend just a little bit, just to counteract this. It's all very shadowy, you know, it's all a bit heavy, grand. I've been asked to go out, gonna go out with people I know and love. Let's go. Where are we going? Doesn't matter. I'm going out. Don't care. Right? Great. So you're out. You're out and you're talking to everyone. You're having a good time. And it's the middle of the night. You know, you haven't had too many drinks, but you're nice. You're warm and fuzzy inside. Everyone's laughing. Everyone's chatting. Where have you been? Oh, I've just been busy. You know, just been busy. And then something starts to change. And you start to notice that you're not connecting as much as you used to. And you're feeling quite detached. Oh, that's weird. Okay, never mind. That's fine. Just ignore it. And you're noticing that you don't find things as funny maybe as you used to. You know? Conversations aren't as interesting as they used to be. And you're starting to see that your understanding of certain people that you held close to you is kind of gone or is dwindling. You're starting to notice that that familiarity is, well, there's this like mist coming over it. It's a bit foggy. It's like they're there, but you can't reach them. And they kind of can't reach you. They might even not be aware of this, but you're feeling this. And all of a sudden you're thinking, maybe this isn't where I'm supposed to be. Or you go, I think I'll go home. And you start to notice that friendships are molding in ways that you weren't ever really anticipating. They're really changing like melted wax. What's going on is your spiritual vibrations, your energetical vibrations are altering. You're heightening yours. You're feeling different things and you're starting to see different things. Your intuition is kicking in. Not only that, it's coming into your perception now. You start to see it now. Things are different. Things are changing. It's because you're changing. And you may find that over this process that you're not as close to some people as you used to be. And for some of you, you may go, I'm not even friends with some of the people I used to be friends with. That's okay. There's nothing bad in what's going on. They're not in the wrong and you're not in the wrong. This is just all part of this change that you're going through. And what it's technically, I guess, what you want to say, the universe is asking you to do is start to find the people that will elevate you vibrationally. And that that want to elevate themselves as well vibrationally. Find like-minded people now, because your perspective is changing. Remember, you're going deep into yourself. This ain't easy, and this ain't for everyone. So of course you're going to see things with different eyes now. You're going to feel like your eyes are a lot more open. You're going to be asking yourself, why didn't I see that before? And this can also be as severe as seeing people who you were quite close to, even people that you may be romantically involved with, or, I don't know, friends with benefits with. And all of a sudden you start to see them. Really see them for who they are. And you may not like it. You're like, I thought you were one way. You gave me a different face before. And it's like, no, my darling. You chose to see a different face before. Well, you were on a different vibrational level. And now you definitely are. And you see through any bullshit now. And you'll start to realize that you don't want to be around these sort of people anymore. And you'll notice that other people that are on your vibrational level or are trying to elevate themselves like you are, or really starting to wake up, you're going to start moving towards them. Or they're going to come into your life. And you feel like you were so meant to be here. This is the right time for you to be here. You're helping me out here. And it's like helping each other in the spiritual community. It's exactly what you're doing. It's just you can't go down the normal earthly methods in order to do it. There's no path written out for you. There's no college degree that explains all of this. Particular to you, for your life and where you're going. This is all a learning curve for you. So if that starts to happen, don't feel too bad. It's okay. It's okay. You need to attract the right sort of people now. And wouldn't you rather have them come in? And also, it's not to say that the other people that you're seeing in a different light now that you feel like you're disconnecting from. It's not to say that they can't or won't vibrationally elevate. But their process and their journey might just take a slower time compared to yours. And there are some that just don't want to be on this journey and are happy just to ignore it. And just know that you gotta let them go. You gotta let some of those friendships go. Say good luck, God bless. I wish you no harm. But this isn't working anymore. And you'll feel this in a big, big way. And I know this is a very, 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 very personal thing to talk about. And some of you may feel like you don't really know who to talk to about this. It is kind of hard. What I'm going to say is I'm here to talk to you about this. You want to write a comment down below. Let's have a chat about this. Really, let's have a chat. Anyone else who wants to put down a comment, tell me your story. How is your soul purge been? Are you in the middle of it? Are you nearly at the end? Are you only beginning? What are your triggers? Like, it's important because I felt like I didn't really have one particular person I could talk to about this. And so I was very alone in doing all of this myself. And sometimes it was trial and error. But I was very lucky in that I found one person who really listened to me. And she's somebody that I work with in my other, do you want to say real jobs? You know, non-spiritual stuff. I work with this gal. And actually I just looked at the phone, 11:01. See? She's very important. She talked to me about this with no judgment. And we spoke about how we're both triggered at different times. And you got to be selective about who you talk to about this. Because if you're feeling as low as you do within this process, it's important to speak to people that will listen and not think that it's just all bullshit. Because you're opening yourself up, you feel, okay, I should open up, I should talk to somebody about this. Then they go, oh God, what are you talking about? This is nonsense. You're grand. And it's like, oh, it's an extra kick. You're like, you don't need that at this moment. You need people that you can talk to about this. Because, yeah, I chose to be alone doing this, but that was my decision. But you don't have to be. You don't have to be at all. And I want you to use this medium in order to express yourself in that way. Please feel free to, and without judgment. Because that's not what this channel is about. That's definitely not what this video is about. Audio even. So, be selective about who you talk to. It's very, very, very important. And exchange with like-minded people now. Because you'll really feel like then you're not alone. And that's really, really important. And you might hear somebody else's story of their own soul purge. And how it might be ongoing for them. And it's just nice to know that there are people that are in the same boat as you, yeah? So, okay, so you're doing good. You're doing good. You're really through your soul purge now. What are the things you kind of need to know? There's one really, really big important thing you need to know. And that's drop your ideals. Now, during this process, your ideals will be dropped to some degree. What you think you wanted, gone. What you thought you know about yourself, obliterated. Where you see yourself even, where you thought you saw yourself going, gone. All of that stress you've had from family and friends for years, expectations, gone. You got to drop it. You got to drop it. Family conditioning is a very big thing. I'm very lucky to say that I have a certain amount of that in mine, but I've had my mother especially is very open-minded and accepting of all of this, you know. I can talk to her about some of this stuff and it's great. It's really great. But I also know that there are families that don't talk about this. And that there are certain expectations from family members as well. Again, I'm lucky I don't have that off my folks. Really lucky. They've never put pressure on me to be anyone but myself. And I feel very lucky to have said that. But I know there's a lot of people out there that have families that put a lot of pressure on them and have a lot of expectations about them, passing down their ideals to the next generation. Sometimes it's not out of ill intent. They want the best for you. So that's beautiful. But their best may not be your best. And so there comes a point where you have to kind of stick up for yourself and say to them, look, this is where my life is going now. And I don't need that pressure from you. And I'm not going to be what you think you want me to be. I can only be me. I can only do so much. Now, families have gone that as well because, society is a massive thing and societal expectations is huge. That is their age. We have to have this. We have to have that. We have to be married. We have to kids. We have to have the big house. We have to even maybe have 2 cars paid off. Absolutely. Why not? Do you want to go on 3 holidays a year? Yeah, if you can afford it. Nice one. I maybe want exactly, let me see, 4 kids. 2 girls, 2 boys. Wonderful. Why pick a fence? Life's amazing. Great job. Great job. Earning loads of money. Oh yeah. They must be happy, right? They must be. They've ticked off all the boxes of life. You must be happy where you are. Well, society says that you need to be happy in order to tick all those boxes. And I don't know about you, but that doesn't sit very well with me. No, it doesn't. I'm all about the individual. I'm all about what's best for you. What you feel is right, what you do is right for you. Choose lifestyle choices that don't impact or hurt anyone or hurt you. Make positive ones. We're all going to make mistakes. You learn from them. That's the whole point. But pick ones that are true to you. You dance to the beat of your own drum. And I'm such a big believer in that. So the ideals that your family put on you, that have been passed down, the societal ideals and expectations that are being pushed upon you on a daily basis, let it all go. Let it all go. Push back and say no. Drop their ideals. Drop your ideals. What you think you want in a person. What you thought you wanted in a person. And you start to realize that because I've had instances where I thought I've wanted something in someone and that exact thing has come along and I've gone, oh my God, I do not want that in it. And no, what on earth was I thinking? There was a period there for a while I was like, I think I can only really be with fire signs. Fire signs, honestly, yeah. As a Libra, Leo moon, I honestly think I'd just be with fire signs. Had my share of fire signs. No disrespect to fire signs whatsoever. But it was that sort of thing where it's like, I thought that was my ideal. And then I dropped it. And then it happened. And then I realized that's not for me. And I dropped it. Other instances as well. Maybe I should be with air signs. I'm a Libra, Gemini rising. It sounds silly, but you kind of do think these things about yourself. Maybe that jacket would sit best on me, And then it happens and you go, Jesus, what was I thinking? That's not. Whoa, no. So for me, during this whole purging process, I've learned to just completely drop ideals. Completely. Absolutely have goals. Absolutely strive for them. But no, things may not come to you the way you think they're going to come to you. And that perfection is great, but it's not always obtainable. And that there's beauty in imperfection. Drop your ideals and let what's supposed to come to you, come to you. And don't create this barrier around you of what your family want of you, of what your friends want of you, of what society wants of you. What do you want for you? Who do you want to be in all of this? And I think actually it's important for me to mention that during the Soul Purge, you may have, I forgot to say this, which I hadn't got it written down. I have a few notes here that was cleaning around and I decided to just completely stop and write these notes down. Identity. You may have a major identity crisis in all of this. In all of this. Who am I? Where am I going? What the frig is happening with my life? Yeah, that may come up as well. And I want to say to you, like, that's not something that you need to worry about just yet. It sounds crazy me saying that. You're like, Eriu, you want me to just ignore the fact that I don't know who I am. Well, you're not ignoring that. Going through this process, learning about yourself, your interactions with people, taking the time to take care of yourself in hermit mode, who you are now is going to come up and it's going to face you. So you don't have to go looking for that. And also you don't need to be scared by that. It should be a really interesting time for in your life now when you're going through this to see who you are now. And it's like shedding the skin. And you get to really embrace the person you're becoming in this whole journey. And that is my last thing I want to talk about, actually, is just embracing the change. This change. I guess, so what's the one word I've been saying a lot here, apart from Soul Purge? Massive. It's massive. It's huge. This change is huge. This change is going to change you. But you need to embrace this change. This isn't happening to you. It's happening with you, within you. And at times you may not feel like you have the reins. I guarantee you there will be times where, like the Chariot card in Tarot, you think you're holding on to the reins and you're not at all, and you're just flying. You're just absolutely fine. You've no control. You're not really meant to have control because you've been trying to have control the entire time. And that's why your shadow friend went, knock, knock, boom, I'm coming in. You stop having control and let me have a go. Not only that, these things that are coming up out of you, this isn't just even decades. This can be past life stuff as well. Issues that you didn't deal with before. And if you want to even, for example, say we have 2, 3 past lives, including this one. Well, this one that we're living now, our present one. That's a lot of stuff you need to go through. So rather than trying to take control, say, you know what, universe? You want this to happen, yeah? You're asking me to do this. This is happening, whether I like it or not, right? Universe goes, yep. So you say, universe, take control then. You take the reins. I'll do what it is I have to do, but you take care of everything else. And it will. This is about having trust in the things that we cannot see. Having trust in yourself. Having faith in the things that you cannot see. That are people that are on your side, your spiritual family. And about having faith in yourself that you'll get through this. Embrace who you become. Because it will be so much more rewarding at the end. And I know this is a really, really, really long, dreadfully long audio. I'm so sorry. But I just felt like I needed to talk to you all about this. And I might get thumbs down, thumbs up for this. It's not even a factor in my mind. It's really not. Because I know the people who need to hear this will hear this. And I want to give you a forum and a platform to express yourself. I'm not doing this for likes. I'm not doing this for views. No, I don't roll that way. I don't roll that way in real life. I don't really care who likes me and who doesn't sometimes. I'm like, yeah, whatever, you know. I got good people around me, I'm okay. But I want to do this for you. And I hope that this has brought some clarity to you. I really hope it has. I hope my opening up inspires you to open up about your journey. And I wish you the best. And I wish you all the happiness. And I want to just one more time say to you again, you're not crazy. This is happening. And you're going to be absolutely fine. I'm currently working on videos for you guys as well. At the same time as I'm doing everything else. And they'll be out in a couple of weeks, maybe 3 weeks. And if you don't hear from me, have a beautiful December. Have a gorgeous Christmas or happy holidays. Let's cover everyone, shall we? Happy holidays to you all. Take care of yourselves. And just give yourselves a pat on the back. This ain't easy, but you're going through it and you're doing a great job. Much love to all of you. Take care and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.